do in analyze is we would look at the potential problem identification. So we would initiate the analyze phase by collecting the potential causes which might be impacting my project Y. We call it all the potential X's or all the potential factors which might be impacting the project Y. Now remember, the keyword here is potential. We don't know if those are impacting or not right now. We would collect anything and everything that we can. So like you said that while trying to improve the average handling time project, what you did, how did you collect various factors? You did brainstorming, right?
Right.
So there are various ways through which you can actually collect the potential factors. You can do it through brainstorming. You can and brainstorming is the most effective tool, because as an individual you're you might not be able to think as an individual you might be only be able to think a few factors, think about a few factors, right? But then if 10 different individuals sit down and start thinking about the same thing, you would have 10 minds thinking, and the number of factors that they can come out with would be far greater than what one individual can do. So the intention in brainstorming is to get as many ideas as you can, or as many factors that people can think of as you can. So you would collect all the potential factors and then you would collect data around them. And analyze phase is all about, you would validate, we are saying these are potential, is it actually causing that particular issue? So for example, one of the cause, again taking the same example of average handling time project, suppose one of the cause given to you is after call works might be impacting my average handling time. So you collected data on after call work and average handling time, and then you try to see whether after call work is significantly impacting the average handling time or not, right? And you would do it with the help of statistical tool or statistical testing. So we would learn about hypothesis testing in the analyze phase, and we would perform a lot of hypothesis tests to validate whether the factor is significantly impacting on the project Y or not. Okay, and then after we have done that, we will go through Pareto analysis and one of the tool called failure mode effect analysis, which is called FMEA, during the analyze phase. At the end of analyze phase, we need to have the vital few which are actually significantly impacting my project Y. So during the beginning of analyze, we got all the potential factors. At the end of it, we will get all the vital factors. So we might get about 100 potential factors. So what we would do in vital, in the analyze phase, after hypothesis testing and after validating, we might get about 10 or 15 ones which are significantly impacting on the project Y. And thereafter, we will devise solutions on those significant factors only. You with me, Scott? Are we good up till now?
Yep.
Okay. So I will move ahead with the slides, and then thereafter we'll get into hypothesis testing. So first is the process mapping. So when you map the process, the intention is, so there's a tool called value stream mapping. It is based on lean concept. So the concept is in any given process, there can be three kind of steps. There can be a value-added step, non-value-added step, and then essential, non-value-added, or value enabling step. So in any process that you have, all the steps which are there in the process, it can be categorized into these three categories: value-added, non-value-added, or essential non-value-added. So let's try to understand, what is a value-added step. So value-added step is a step if you for which the customer is willing to pay. If you don't take this particular step, there would be impact on the end product or service that you're delivering to the customer. Okay, so let me just take up an example to explain these three steps. Uh, Suppose we fall sick, right, and we would want to show ourselves to the doctor. Okay, now let's look at the process of getting the treatment. Okay, so what happens is we go to the doctor. Sometimes we book the appointment, then we go to the doctor's place. So immediately, doctor is not available. Doctor might be seeing some other patient. It does happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens is because doctor is seeing somebody else, then you are waiting. So, you waited for some time, then finally your number would come, you would go to the doctor. Doctor would see you, examine you, and then straight away he might not give you medication. He will prescribe some diagnostic test. Okay, he would prescribe some diagnostic test to you, and then you would get the test done, you would get the result, and then you would show the result to doctor. And then basis the result and basis the test report that you have, a doctor will give you treatment or prescribe medication. So this is the entire process of showing to a doctor, right?
Mm-hmm.
At a very high level, I might have missed certain steps, but then at a high level, this is what it is. So let's see in this particular process.
You forgot to pay.
I consider it non-value added. So, yes. So, okay. These are the steps, and let me just, since you're so interested in paying to a doctor, so let me just put in the process step. Okay, then you make the payment, right? You make the payment here as well during the diagnostic test. It doesn't come for free, right?
Exactly.
Right. So let's see what happens. You went to the doctor, traveled to doc's place. Okay. So in this entire process, let me just take out the payment. So in this entire process, what is your purpose of this as a customer? What is it that you want
To get
in the entire process?
fixed, mended, yeah. Yeah.
Medication, right? This is what you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're paying money to doctor so that you can get the medication, right? So as a customer, you're willing to pay for this particular step, right? So this is value added. Okay. Now you're traveling to doctor's place. Is it a value added step? Probably not. It's a
probably not. No.
Non-value added. Even if you take out this particular step from the process, so don't get into practicality that doctor is living far away, but then imagine a scenario wherein you want to get a treatment, doctor is right there, and you don't need to travel. You straight away show it to the doctor, right? So even if you take out this particular step, there would not be any impact on the quality or the medication that the doctor prescribes you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This particular step of prescribing medication is not dependent on the travel that you are taking. Of course, you need to reach there, right? So,
Yeah,
so
makes
value-added
sense.
step is something for which the customer is willing to pay. You as a customer, you're willing to pay. If you take it out, there would be impact on the end product or service, right? So this step you definitely cannot take out because this is something that is a value-added. Then you have other kind of steps which are non-value-added steps. Even if you take them out, there would not be any impact on the end product or service. It is a step for which the customer is not willing to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So anything which is not value added can be categorized under non-value added. So let me just put non-value added right now. And there are third kind of steps that I mentioned, which is essential non-value added. These are the non-value added steps, but essential in nature. If you don't take this step, you probably would not be able to take the next value added step in the process.
Okay.
Okay, so I would say, let's keep non-value added here, or I can say this can be ENVA as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't travel, probably I'll not reach doctor's place and not be able to show to the doctor. So this is non-value added step, but essential in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I went to a doctor place and then doctor is not free. Okay, doctor, and we're waiting for doctor to get free so that we can show to the doctor. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think
Right.
this kind of step is? It a value added, non-value added?
No, non-value.
It is non-value added. As a customer, we are not willing to pay for this particular step. I mean, we're not paying doctors or so that we go and wait there. Right. Now, doctor, in order for doctor to give us the right prescription, right medication, doctor asks us to get the diagnostic test done.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think this kind of step is?
Value added.
Value added?
Yeah.
You go to the doctor so that you can get the diagnostic test done? To think about it
Well,
from the customer's perspective. You didn't, right? The only purpose
right.
for you was this. So
Right.
this is a value, this is actually a value enabling step or essential non-value add.
Right. Okay, I get you. Got to be
It
done.
is, it is enabling the next value added step in the process, which is the right prescription. Okay, so let me remove this. In this entire process, so there is only one value added step.
Mm-hmm.
Rest everything is either NVA or ENVA. So this is what we do in the projects as well. When we map the processes end to end, then we try to find out, is it a value added step? Is it non-value added step? After we have done this value analysis and we have segregated each and every step under these categories, then we try to see, can we remove NVAs altogether? If we cannot remove them, can we club two steps into one step? Can we run some of the steps parallel instead of sequential in nature? Can we automate some steps? So remember, in lean, automation comes, in the last. So lean says you don't automate the process initially. You first correct the process. Then after you've done everything else and you cannot do anything else, then you go ahead and automate the process. Right? It's altogether a separate thinking. Unfortunately, what is happening nowadays is that there's a lot of automations going on, a lot of robotics are going on in the business processes. But then, these robotics are actually in a lot of places, these robots, these bots which are getting deployed or robotics are actually failing because the process standardization is not yet there. The process has not been corrected. Right. So do we have any automation or any robotics or bots deployed in the organization that you're working in?
We do not.
Okay, if not. Okay. So there's a lot of rigor, in a lot of organizations and, robotics, automation, they call it RPA, robotic process automation. It is really a big thing nowadays, and they're trying to integrate artificial intelligence into robotic process automation. So one is machines doing the a task that a human would do in terms of
I
processing,
guess
and
I guess
and then
we do have an
we do.
IVR, so yeah, so that
Oh,
would be.
right. Yeah, IVR is again one of the example of robotics,
Yeah.
but then now current robotics is actually uh, more advanced, I would say.
Hmm.
So imagine so in you working in a company organization, right? You're into freight management, right? So somebody would take down the data for where did the shipment go, what came in the warehouse, whom did it went to, and all that stuff. Some data would be maintained somewhere, and there would be people who would be entering that data, right?
Hmm.
So imagine a scenario wherein you replace these people with the bots, so that whenever a shipment, it's like now, and it's so easy to be done. So for example, you send the shipment somewhere, and you just paste some kind of paper there with the um, with some scanning sheet, right? And the data get captured in the computer, and then when the shipment reaches some other place, again there's some scan that is done, and it's automated scan, just like we have on the toll plazas. Automatically it scans and the information gets stored in the machine. So there's no need of any human to do that data entry. The data entry is done by a machine itself. By the scanners. Scanners has been integrated with some software. Software would capture the information, update the information there itself. Right. So that kind of robotics or automation I'm talking about. So is that already there in the organization? Something on those lines?
Mm, probably not in that sense of it.
Okay. Okay. Right. So, okay. So in a lot of organizations, people are actually working on deploying the bots and doing a lot of automation, and then integrating artificial intelligence with the automation, so that we can take it to next level. The machine or the bot which has been deployed would learn for itself, increase their knowledge base, and make the changes themselves instead of some human doing intervention and making the changes. So what Lean says is that you don't do that initially. You first fix your process, make a value stream, make the process in such a manner that only value flows throughout the process steps. And once you have streamlined the process enough, then you go ahead and automate the process. Okay. So whenever you do a project, the first thing in the analyze phase that you would need to do is do the value stream analysis, right? So wherein you can see what are the NVAs in the non-valuated steps, what are the ENVAs, essential non-valuated steps in the process, how the material, man, information flowing from one step to other step. So there are loads of information that you can note down for each and every process step. And again, like I mentioned in yesterday as well, process mapping should never be done in the head. It should always be penned down on a piece of paper or on a board somewhere. Okay, so after you've done the process mapping, you would have identified the ENVAs or NVAs. That is when you would need to then take action do with those NVAs. Another concept of lean is 7 types of waste. Have you heard about this? 7 waste?